Hello, everyone. I'd like to address the question, is Paul still relevant today? And I believe the answer is yes. Paul is absolutely relevant, and here's why. First, Paul's writings are foundational to Christian theology. His letters have helped us understand the gospel of grace, the meaning of justification by faith alone, the centrality of Christ's death and his resurrection, and the unity of believers in the church. And these truths are timeless. And they're not just limited to the first century. They continue to shape Christian identity and practice around the world today. Now, second, Paul wrote to real churches that had real problems. There was division, sexual immorality, greed, abuse of power, and these are still issues of sin that we see churches even today still struggling with, even in our own modern culture. Paul's counsel to those early churches speak to our own challenges, and he calls us to holiness, love, humility, accountability. And these letters give us a blueprint of how to deal with these challenges in our modern culture and how to navigate in this fallen world in a Christ-centered way. Third, while some want to label Paul misogynistic or intolerant, and that criticism is often given to him because of the misunderstanding of the context of his letters. When we look carefully, we see that Paul uplifted women as co-laborers of the gospel. We see that in Romans, we see that in Philippians, and so forth. He respected their contributions. He taught a radically countercultural message about unity across ethnic, gender, and social boundaries. His teaching may be difficult for modern ears at times, but dismissing him as irrelevant fails to consider how he challenged the status quo of his own culture in his own time for the sake of Christ. Fourthly, and finally, the question of relevance. It shouldn't be decided by a culture's shifting values. If something is true, and if Paul was inspired by the Holy Spirit, and his writings stand as God's authoritative word, then no matter how a culture may change or society's values may change, if it is true, the truth does not expire. It's true for all times, all people, and all cultures and places. So that means Paul's letters, yes, remain just as relevant in the 21st century as they were in the first century when he was writing. So in short, yes, Paul is still relevant for today because he helps us to know who Jesus is and how to live out our faith and how to remain anchored in the truth despite challenging cultural norms around us. Thank you for listening.